Kanti uNkulunkulu uphendula imithandazo yabanjani? Kule yami impilo ngakhetha wena kunokuba nenqwaba abangani. Kungani ungayiphendula imithandazo yabaswele? Asithandazi ngoba singcwele, kepha sifuna ukuphila okuphakade. Siyababona ontanga bagcwele amajele, abanye sebephangalele. Yithi sabambela inhlabathi bezibiza ngeyingqwele. Nathi sinamaphupho Nkosi yafisa ukuba nemizi phinde siyimele. Ngoba kwelakithi ikhasi bakushayela izandla muyiginza sazi. Kodwa inyembezi sebesikhiphile ngazi abazi. Mhlawumbe abanye bangageza ngazo kusasa bavuke sebewubazi. Impilo legazi yahlonishwa, hayi mina ngisazi. Indlela benza ngawo namhlanje abantu abasha abafuni ukukhula babe badala. Kunalokho bajaka izinto zabantu abadala. Nasibulala iminyaka isengaka, okonje sihlaselwe iCovid-19. Ngizwile iyaqeda kakhulu ngalaba sebebadala. Hawu Nkosi fika phela emhlabeni uzosiza. Wasuthatha bona labantu abasikhombisa indlela ukukhula nokuba mdala. Uwe wasidala, uyasithanda singabantu bakho kufanele nje sifiso kwezilwane. Nayi nenhlupheko ngaphiyanda. Ekubeni sinemali yonke kulelizwe, kepha ifiki kithina esadla ngoludala. Sidliwa yilabo abaphezulu. Phela sebeyikhulu ngisho ningancebeleka lapho abantu abakhulu. Ngithule nje ngibhekile, usazonibizana noNkulunkulu. Senomchazela kabanzi ngungalisebenzisi kahle leni thuba. Thina ngapha siyojabula sithi egcineni saphumula. Ningabuzi ukubuhlungu obokwenza komunye nakuye kuyabuya. Angisale sengithula. Ngiyabezwa bekhuluma ngenanda bathi akugebengu kuyafiwa kodwa kugcwele amaphanda. Izinto ezashiya isikole phansi asasodlala imfundo thina ngemqondo esizaphu ukwenza imali. Nenkhala abanye bethu embongi mina lezo ziqo okukhuluma ngazo ukuze izongimela. Uthini ngobhuti wami uneziqu zobudokotela. Ungaqashwa ngisho umakhelwane izingane zibagulela. Anganakekho ngaphansi kwahulumeni. Yema South Africans animeni. Senikhohliwe yini ukuthi nina niyakwazi ukuphila nesilonde enyameni. Mhlambe senisaba ngisho ukuvala ibazi zokulimala. Makudaliwe ukuthi uzoba iphanta shizile abazokwenzelana abantu. Hayi mina ngikhathele bandla. Kanikoze kube nini sibalela abantu abahlukumeza intsha nomphakathi. Ekubeni kulabo bantu siqukethe inqwaba abantu abanamathalente abangaphakamisa igama lenanda ngobuhle in front. Sikhathele nje kokuqala ukugebengu kugcwele wonke umhlaba. Sengiqala ukunosisa manje ukuthi indawo ehluphekile. Izona enokugebengu kakhulu ngenxa yesimo somnotho esitshekile. Ekubeni sebezibotile. Ngenhloso yokulangazela ushintsho kunalokho sivezela bona labo somapolitiki abadla imali. Nje bengaboshwa bathembisane zona lezi imali engabe isiza umphakathi. Bantu bakithi mase kunje asimane isicela ukufa. Kunokuthi sibulawe indlala imali ibikhona idliwe yilabo abayiqhumama. Imbongi Sikhosana.
I hate the one who came with it, who created it, who injected black skin saying this is just population control, I have a cure for it, and died before he got rid of it, because this feels worse than the Israelites' punishment, breaks a lot of relationships when the sea of love cannot handle it, because I was positive and she was negative, and suddenly we were dying from the silence that was creeping inside of me as she lay next to me, begging me, please, talk to me. Say something. Sing that song that you tend to sing to me. Sexy lady drives me crazy. Silence. I wanted to sing it, but what was flowing inside of me was so contagious. And I'm so scared to give her what I've got, because the next thing I'll be getting a slap and she would be asking me, who named you God to put my life at risk like this? Isn't it love for better or worse through sickness to health? But in this case, I decided to impregnate myself with silence, and I'm bonding with it. I could feel it grow, but sometimes I wish I could abort the monster that's becoming me, because she is not the mother of this monster. So tell me, where do you begin unlearning these monstrous lessons of indoda ayikali ifela ngaphakathi? Where else iphakathi lam is a battlefield of 300 Spartans against 10,000 Persian soldiers, and my soldiers are dying, failing to defend themselves because they forgot the very first rule of war: Viga, Vula, Hlaba, Senyasaba, to let it know that I ate from the forbidden fruit, that I made a vow to never let its seeds grow inside of me. Questions of anger are blinding me. Why is it disease that are hitting them are so easy to find a cure? Or are they pure of skin? But when it hits us, the dark of skin, it cannot be cured. just controlled. Another way of killing our source of supply, so we cannot multiply. One is born and the other one is left behind. Being a stat, losing count, losing weight. As I contemplate, should I tell her or should I shift the blame? That's why I had an undercover lover that got me getting home late. Late night dinner dates that led me feeling empty inside. Besides, I was the fish in this debate. I took in the bait, even though I knew very well it might kill me at the end. So my prayers have changed. Asking the black nation to come with a formula to cure, to unsilence my mistakes of thinking HIV means that I'm a river that's forgotten how water flows.
Walked into the ocean and the water became me. Spilled the sea into a bathtub and tried not to drown in myself. Dead friends clawed their way up my throat, my wrists, a river I drink from. I tried not to spill the Nile and its ghosts that held me in their palms. I pried my life from the grasp of a death I recognized. Took shots of whiskey from a bleeding phantom. We danced to Kendrick Lamar and all the other songs about dying black boys. Poured myself out for the homies. My umbilical wrapped itself around my throat. My mother was the fire. I do not tell her how many times I have almost died, how much blood I have made an ocean that is between me and the ancestors. Sacrificed another heart to keep breathing. When will I stop leaking lovers from my fingernails? I have scratched myself raw trying to find the exit wounds. Dodged death so often. Where does the reaper take his tax? Another friend died this year, but this black boy stays defiant. Keep my wrists divinely attached to my arms. Carve temples from my spine, mistake myself for holy. With these bones made of water, I have come to myself to be baptized. A soggy scripture clinging beneath my fingertips, Sam Cooke running out my mouth. I was born a dying flood. Name a black boy who wasn't. The waters have offered me exorcisms. I'm afraid the hauntings will leave with the memories, so this black boy stays defiant, has started visiting cemeteries, tipping himself into the soil of the new asleep. Tomorrow, come collect the lilacs from these graves. You cannot take them from my mouth, because tomorrow I will not be dead yet.
Kudala ndikukhangela, kudala ndifuna ukudibana nawe. Molo mama. Kudala ndikumamele, kudala ndifuna ukuthetha nawe mama. Things have not changed. Bodies remain fractured, tortured, beaten up, diced up, packed up. Cries seem only to be heard by the victims and their perpetrators. The justice system seems to have lost its hearing, mama. I am stuck in a body that I have inherited from you, from her, from them. Undiphile uluxa, kodwa undiphanga amaxa okumelana nezinto zalo mhlaba. Ewe umoya wam uyavuma, kodwa hayi akavumi ngobuvukuvuku esihleli kubo. Mama ndombelele ingoma ezokuthuthuzela amanxeba kadade wethu. Mama ndiboleke umxhentso ozoshukumisa achukumise isazela sobhuti bethu mama. Sizilibele ukuba sizalwa ngubani. We have inherited the heritage of blood, vengeance, and hate that is not of our own. The system you once stood up against, we now stand with. We have become the monsters they made. Molo mama. Kudala ndikukhangela, kudala ndifuna ukuthetha nawe masambe mama. Masihambe siye embo apho unosifundisa uthando, uxolo nemvisiswano. Plant the seed of true reconciliation. Nourish the soil with fairness and justice to feed the roots of this here nation. Forgive us as we forgive ourselves, as we are victims as much as we are perpetrators in this here situation. Molo ma. Uxolo ma. Sincede mama. Khanyisela iSouth Africa.
How do I write about being a woman when I'm afraid? I let that fear sit for days, like the bodies of women in fields, in parking lots, in post offices, alone, afraid for days. Woman but not enough human. Woman but not enough human for a nationwide outcry or a revolution. Just a woman, not even enough human. How do I write about being a woman when I'm afraid, when the fear sits with me for days, when I can recall sexual advances from a young age where I should have been learning ABCs and not toxic masculinity, where I should have been learning finger art and not being exposed to graphic art, where I was just a girl, not even yet a woman, but still not enough human. How do I write about being a woman when I'm afraid? When my best friend rapes me and calls it a day, calls it a mistake, tells me we were drunk, we were both to blame. That my no meant yes, that my push meant pull, that the tension in my body was a welcome cue, that I was all woman but still not enough human. How do I write about being a woman when my anger and my fear intertwines because there are too many stories just like mine or just like yours? They shout women should be celebrated and whisper that they'll kill us like it's calculated. They tell us we deserve love and respect, but only at an expense, that touch is only worth my life, affection only worth my breath, that sex is a concept only appreciated when dead, that I am always woman, but I'm never enough human for the world to ask when will end. When will the headlines stop and the heartbeats continue? When will our cries be heard and not just symbols, our bodies beautiful and not just memorials? Because I'm tired. I'm angry and I'm hurt that I will never be enough because I'm a her. And my voice will be drowned out by sorries and we will do better. And then they'll go and add more names to a seemingly endless death letter. Why can't you celebrate her? Why can't you celebrate her, protect her, and do better? Why does your humane actions need a thank you letter? I should thank you for treating me right. Thank you for not raping my sister. Thank you for not being abusive like your father. I should thank you, congratulate you, applaud you for acting humanely or what? We'll get what we deserve and have our names in an obituary? See, I'm tired. I'm angry and I'm hurt that I will never be enough because I'm a her. And I want to write about being a woman, but I'm afraid. And the fear sits with me for days, like the bodies of women in fields, in parking lots, in post offices, alone, afraid for days.